All right, guys, let's talk about our topic today, which is improving your health by reducing stress. Believe it or not, one of the worst things for your health is, in fact, stress. And it's important to understand how stress operates to understand why that's the case. So, let's talk about what stress actually is. Stress is your body's response basically to the unknown, basically to something that it can't handle, doesn't know how to handle. So, what the body does is the brain floods the body with cortisol and adrenaline. Cortisol is a hormone that basically puts a governor on all of your body's unessential activities. So like your digestion, your reproductive system, your growth processes, all of the things that aren't of immediate need, cortisol just shuts all that stuff down. And then adrenaline ups your heart rate and ups your reaction time. It puts you in a situation to be able to react quickly. So it heightens your senses, it ups your heart rate, it prepares your muscles, it does everything to get ready. So what basically these two chemicals do in coordination, whenever you're presented with an unknown situation, okay, you have to keep that in mind. That's the stress response. The stress response happens, it doesn't happen when you lay on your couch and, everything's going fine and there's nothing wrong, obviously. The stress response happens when something unknown comes at you. Is this something that, you can't deal with? Is this something dangerous? Is this something not dangerous? It's this immediate response. It prepares your body for fight or flight. So the way that your body responds to stress is basically this. First, it freezes. Then it evaluates very quickly. This all happens very quickly. And then it's either fight or flight. Okay? That's kind of the system that takes place. And part of that is the flooding of adrenaline and the flooding of cortisol. That prepares you for whatever it is. Okay. So imagine this is the way that this system was set up for being out in the bush and there's a lion in the bush. So you're out in the savannah. All of a sudden you hear something rattling in the bush. Boom. You get adrenaline. Your body gets ready. Your muscles get ready. Your heart rate accelerates. Your mind goes into sensory overload. Everything slows down. You hear sharper. And the cortisol slams everything else down. No digestion. No growth. No reproduction. We don't need any of that stuff right now. We need to focus. Everything needs to be focused in on this one thing because that bush is rattling. And you freeze, and as soon as something happens, then you can respond to it. A lion jumps out, you can run, or you can start attacking. Either way, because you've got to defend yourself and you've got to fight. That's what this system was built for. That's what the system's designed to do. We have a big, big problem in modern society, and that's that there aren't any lions running around anymore. But our bodies react exactly the same. And that's a really core, important thing to understand about the situation that we're in modern day society. Whether you're being yelled at by your boss or you're being attacked by a lion, you're responding the exact same way. Your body is behaving the exact same way. Okay? So the problem is that lion never jumps out of the bush. When you're dealing with stress and worry and anxiety and long term, you're never dealing with the lion is never jumping out of the bush. There's never anything to fight or flight from. So consider, have you ever worried a lot and you've been in a situation where and it affects your digestion and you've always wondered, why is it that, I'm worrying about this and now, my stomach's upset or I can't eat, I'm not hungry, things like that. That's why. It's because your body's flooded with cortisol. And all of these, the subsystems that aren't important to fight or flight, they've all been shut down. And in a way, I described for you how what happens is you go into this, you freeze first so that your body can evaluate. And then after your body evaluates, that's when it decides fight or flight, right? Well, what if you're just stuck in that freeze moment? What if you're just stuck in that moment? Because there's nothing to fight or flight against, okay? Our worries and problems, so our worries might be the electrical bill. Okay, the electricity bill is going to be high. That's my worry. Well, you can't fight or flight from that. So you're stuck in that freeze moment. That's what anxiety is. It's that inability to go any way or do anything. That's what you're dealing with anxiety, and that affects your body very negatively long term. So when you're dealing with that type of stuff, it causes all kinds of long-term damage to your body because your body does not go through regular cycles. It doesn't properly regulate digestion, reproductive, growth tissue, things like that. And your heart rate's constantly elevated, which is going to cause all kinds of long-term problems to your cardiovascular system. So how do we eliminate that? How do we deal with these modern day stressors? Because the modern day stressors, like I say, are the same problem. The body reacts the same way to the lion in the bush as it does to the electricity bill that's going to be coming, 2 weeks from now. So how do we deal with those? Well, the same way, the way that you deal with stress is you take the smallest step and you take control of the things that you can control. If you can't control it, then you need to let it go. So the best example of this is the rain. You can't control the rain. If it's going to rain, it's going to rain. And what you can do is bring an umbrella. So what's one thing that you can do to get more control over your life? It's bring an umbrella with you. Control the things that you can control. Worry about the rain isn't going to affect the rain. It doesn't matter. You can worry all day long, and all that's going to do is hurt you because of this metabolic process I just described. Another important thing that you can do is manage your time and manage your resources. Time management is a huge contributing factor. If you're constantly being attacked, and that's the way it feels, right? When things happen to you and you're not ready for them, if you feel these attacks, like a lot of people, they internalize like emails as attacks. Like, you get an email, boom, and it's from somebody that it's from your boss or somebody, and you think, I need to take care of this right away. I need to take care of this right away. Then that feels like an attack. That lion is exactly the same thing as that email is the same as the lion. It's the same thing, and your body's being stressed over it. So you can use time management to block out times, turn off notifications on your phone and only check your email between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And you'll immediately say to me, I can't do that. What if something important comes through? You can do that. That's one of those things that I run into people all the time. Believe me when I tell you, your addiction to things like emails and notifications and texts and stuff like that is not nearly as pervasive as you think. It's all in your head. If there's an emergency, make sure that there's a way that people can get through to you. But beyond that, and give that to them. Hey, text me. If you text me, it'll come through to me right away. Something like that. Just tell people I don't check my email until 10 o'clock or something like that. And then use that to manage your time, and you won't have these stressors that are going to damage your health.